Good morning, Dave Martzoff here. This is the latest painting that's going to go up on my website. It's called Aphrodite. It's a 40 by 30 inch oil on canvas, and you can imagine it as like a bust of or torso of an ancient Greek sculpture that may have been dredged out of the Aegean Sea or found at one of the ruins on Delos or some other location. Now, I want to point out here that while from a distance all these lines may look perfect, the artist shouldn't worry too much about absolute perfection. For instance, you can see the line goes from very thin to very wide here, and also from very thin to very wide here to give a sense of energy to the line. But if you look closely, you'll find those lines aren't perfect. So here's a close-up of one of the lines, and you can see that it's actually a little bit bumpy. It's not perfect. Here's another one, and when you look closely, you can see it's not a perfect, smooth flowing line. This is even easier to see if you look at it closely from the side angle. But before getting into perfection, here's just a way to show you the process of getting to this painting. Here's the original on the left, just a Sharpie drawing on a piece of paper, enlarged in the middle on a laser printer, and then used copies of those to make colored sketches to see what kind of coloring I'd like to do for the final painting. Here's the final color sample that I liked and actually framed, and you can see it's a very pastel, very light colored design here. So now I brought you to my computer screen. I've always liked Rembrandt and Kandinsky's paintings. You can see one of his here in this picture. At first glance, you look at it and say, wow, what perfection. Look at all those nice lines and nice shapes so evenly drawn. But if you look very closely, you find that in some ways you could say he was a little bit sloppy. Now, here's some examples. This point right here, if you get really close to it, you can see the black line there is not a perfect line. At this point here, a close-up, you can see it's a little bit ragged and a little bit rough. And again, where the yellow and the light blue line meet, on the left, you can see it's not perfect. So my advice to the painter, don't worry about absolute perfection. One other of my favorite examples is comparing a normal 17th century Dutch portrait to one that was done by Rembrandt. Rembrandt is on the right. Not only is the lighting more dramatic, but if you look closely at the filigree or the neckline, you'll find two different styles entirely. In the portrait on the left, you can see the filigree around the neck's lacing is really perfect. But in some ways, that perfection makes it dead. By contrast, Rembrandt's lace around the neck is almost impressionistic. It's not perfect. If you look closely at the brush strokes, you'll find that some of them almost disappear. You'll find it ends an air of reality and transparency, bringing life to the painting. So my advice is, your imperfections or your looseness may actually add a vitality to the painting that would otherwise be not achieved. So stay with it. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel or come visit me at davemartzoff.com. Thank you very much.